So I woke up this morning at like 4:50 a.m. and there was just so much information coming in. So let's just get right to it. So first, let's just go over the dimensions, right? That all exist at the same time here. So one dimension is a dot, right? Just a single dot. Two dimensions is a circle, but it's flat. It's a circle. Three dimensions is a sphere, like a globe. Four dimensions is a torus field, where energy is flowing up and flowing down. And fifth dimension is when these energies of this torus field simultaneously move up and down. So let's scoop back to the fourth, which I've described before as the veil, or the subconscious, or the polarity. In the fourth dimension, it serves as a veil because we are only running energy through our system in one way or the other. So a lot of the times we'll say either positive or negative, good or bad. And that's not necessarily the direction that they flow in. I'm just using this as an example. The point is that they flow only in one direction at a time. So we jump from pole to pole. This creates subconscious, and this creates a inverted reality where everything is flipped inside out. Now that we're ascending into the fifth dimension, that means everything is starting to move simultaneously, creating another dimension on top of the fourth. So all of these dimensions exist right now at the same time. They're all right here, happening. When we say we're ascending, we're not necessarily moving upward. We are actually just shifting into a five-dimensional realm where these energies are simultaneously going through. So this is the point of all my videos about there's no evil, there's no good, there's just presence. There's no evil cabal or elites that are trying to kill us all or so on and so forth. I mean, that is one dimension of it, but where we're moving to, we're shifting into, we don't want to stay in that one pole that we did nothing. This is just, all the work of this evil group and we have no control over it. That's one direction. And the other direction is, no, we have power and we are everything, but they flow simultaneously. So that's where we're shifting into, which now brings us to karma. So karma is not something that just happens to us. It's not just something that we had no control over or that it's a governing force. Karma is the name of something we chose to do. So it's the choice that we made in our soul bodies rather than our finite human bodies, right? Because they're both a body. There's a human body, which is physical. There's an etheric body, which is the soul. They're both bodies, just one is etheric and translucent, and the other is more finite, if you will, so we can understand that. So in our soul essence, we chose to keep coming back here. We chose to come back over and over again to create a frequency, right? Because we frequent this realm, and we came back again and again to balance out an energy by creating that frequency. So when we created that frequency, this is what is elevating our grid. So Rudolf Steiner said that chemistry and alchemy are thought to be the same thing, but they actually aren't. He said alchemy is the cause and chemistry is the effect. So as we know, alchemy is what transmutes, right? That's it. We could all say that we're here for an alchemical purpose. We're here to transmute density or a three-dimensional plane into run it through a fourth dimension into a fifth dimension, right? It's to release the subconscious and get that torus field flowing in two directions rather than choosing one or the other, creating an inverted reality. So in an inverted reality, we hold a subconscious, right? We project instead of being creators. Instead, we feel as though everything happening outside of us is happening inside of us, and then we feel that everything that's happening inside of us is actually happening outside of us. So it's opposite. The way we feel, we don't identify it as coming from running through us. We view it as something else causing it within us, something else having a governance over us, where we stripped our own power away. But the idea of this whole upgrade, and the reason that we chose to keep coming back here, and that choice is karma, right? That's what karma is. It's balancing of energy. The reason we chose to keep coming back is to create a frequency. And when we create a frequency, it shifts an energetic field. It has to. That's what it does. So if we are trying to raise our consciousness to the fifth dimension, then this is what had to be done. So karma is very much a choice that we made. We are creators, like I said. We create this reality. And we knew that we needed to come back here and continue to repeat experiences until we could shift the energy enough so that we could rise the consciousness to know and to realize that we are only, that flow is only in that on that three-dimensional plane, is on a four-dimensional reality, which serves as the veil, creating a subconscious. That's emerging now. That subconscious is emerging because we came back here so many times and did this over and over again so that we could finally emerge that subconscious enough to understand that this energy needs to be flowing in both directions. You know, like the flat Earth versus the spheric Earth argument. It's actually both. It's depending on what dimensional plane we're talking about, because nothing is fixed, right? Nothing is fixed. So I don't want to get into that because that's going to create a mess in the comments. But the point of this is we are creators. And rather than sitting at one pole, we are beginning to understand that light and dark coexist, that there is darkness in us, that there is light in us. We are not just love and light. We don't have to only be love and light. It's that darkness that emphasizes the light, and it's the light that emphasizes the dark. And that way when we start to understand these polarities and we begin to unify them, although still see them as being two separate things, it begins this flow, which creates the fifth dimension. So if we're doing that in our energetic field, then that's just us. Every cell is doing that in our body, and those cells make up our body, and then our body is doing that, which fractals out. This is the fifth dimension also. It fractals. It starts fractaling. So our auric field will begin flowing in this, omni flow, if you will, torus field. And then when we do that, our general area does that. The earth grid that runs off of the ley lines, that all starts moving in that fashion. And then cities, and then states, and then countries, and then eventually the globe starts doing that. So that's why we are the grid. We are the creators. Karma is not something that is happening to us. Karma is a word that describes something that we chose to do here, because we're viewing ourselves in this higher presence now, right? In this bird view. We're not so stuck in this little ego mind where it's like, I have no power over anything. Everything is just happening to me. No, we created this realm. We created this through our energetic signatures and frequency, through our choices. These are computers, if you will. These bodies, they're computers. We run this energy through these computers, these programs we run through these computers, and we emit a frequency, and this is what affects the reality that is projected into this world. So there we are. That's what we are. We are creators. This finite body is a creator.